going to be the place where Africans, both on the continent and elsewhere in the diaspora, tell their own story themselves. Our ancestors said, until the lions have the historians, tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. This museum will represent the lion's tale, not the hunter's tale. So many deliberate misrepresentations and outright falsehoods have been told about Africa, her people, and her history. But I take unrestrained comfort in our ancestral wisdom that says, whereas the liar takes 1,000 years to go on a journey, the one who speaks the truth follows and overtakes the liar in a day. Centuries of distortions made many people feel that the truth about Africa had disappeared. But our ancestors firmly believed that the truth that went out in the morning came back in the evening. This museum is going to represent our truth as told by ourselves. For when the gigantic curtain of the enthralling human drama was flung wide open, Africans were the only actors on that great stage. And for centuries, they made lasting contributions that made a future world for humanity possible. This museum will restore our truth, our genius, our dignity, and our greatness as a people. And it will be a site where inspiration, hope, knowledge, and a sense of renewal will be mined for the benefit of all of us African descendants. Again, a hearty and gracious welcome to this memorable ceremony, bearing in mind that this museum will be built not because we are Africans, but as Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah said, this museum will be built because Africa was born in us. Mema Makwaba. Thank you.
Yajiwuso Openyin, Yajiwuso. Mr. Abdul Rahman Diallo to also give us an address.
Great honor and privilege for me, representative of the educational, scientific, and cultural organization, to attend this sword-cutting ceremony of the Pan-African Heritage World Museum. And I would like to begin by extending my heartfelt congratulations to Honorable Kojo Yanka and all others involved for pioneering this historical moment. I would like also to recognize that the presence of Your Excellency, Mr. President, demonstrates the great importance Your Excellency attached to this monumental heritage museum project, as well as Ghana's film's position at the forefront of the Pan-Africanist agenda. As African Union's member states are celebrating this year, 2021, arts, culture, and heritage, this ceremony is of particular importance as we are also celebrating today African World Heritage Day. Museums are more than places where objects are exhibited and conserved. Along with the dramatic rise in cultural tourism in recent decades, the number of museums around the world has increased from 22,000 in 1975 to 95,000 today. Unfortunately, in Africa, we have less than 1,000 museums. UNESCO supports developing countries using museums' potential to foster social cohesion, notably among local communities and disadvantaged groups. UNESCO intervenes to secure and rehabilitate museums. UNESCO also carries out capacity building for museum specialists in the conservation of collection and inventorying and documentation to contribute to the fight against illicit traffic of cultural objects. By housing the history, culture, arts, sciences of Africa, Pan-African Heritage World Museum will serve as a reminder of the rich and diverse shared heritage of African people in the continent and across the diaspora, while the fort and castles, components of the listed UNESCO World Heritage Site, just a few kilometers away, represent the emotive chapter of humanity of European African encounters and the starting point of the African diaspora. The Pan-African Heritage World Museum will add the missing pages to the world history books and share the multifaceted stories of the mighty heroes and civilizations of Africa with the world. It will allow us, especially our youth, to learn about and honor our past, as well as remedy the general ignorance on Africa's history. It is to be reminded that in 1964, UNESCO was embarked in a monumental project, General History of Africa, in support of the then newly independent African countries' willingness to take back ownership over the narration of their history and reaffirmation of their cultural identity to reinforce the common aspiration to achieve African unity. The tireless work continues, backed, of course, by African Union, and this month, UNESCO will organize a conference with the objective to promote the integration of the project's pedagogical materials into national curricula in several African countries, including Ghana. Moreover, it is commendable that the museum has the ambition to showcase artifacts that were looted and illegally removed from Africa, particularly during the colonial era. The thousands of artifacts in question have become the subject of a decades-long debate on the return and restitution of cultural and historical property to their countries of origin in Africa. This year, UNESCO is supporting African member states through capacity building to implement the 1970 Convention on the means of prohibiting and preventing the illicit import, export, and transfer of ownership of cultural property. In this regard, the documentary You Hide Me, produced by Nikwate Ou, who is present today, shows some of these artifacts in the British Museum. This documentary is of particular interest. Considering its dedication to this issue, I'm confident that the Pan-African African Heritage World Museum will be a key actor in this effort and will voice Ghana's position on this important issue. I'm also delighted to know that the museum will allow a space for an African herbal plant village and another for concert, festival, film screening, exhibition, and other forms of entertainment, because culture heritage is not limited to monuments and collection of objects. It also includes traditions of living, expression, and one cannot tell the story of who we are as Africans without music, dance, fashion, drama, traditional medicine, and other expressions that have been used in the continent for generations to educate and entertain people. The intangible cultural heritage plays a crucial role to pass on knowledge, social values, and collective memory, and ultimately keep African cultures alive. And I applaud the Pan-African Heritage World Museum for creating spaces for this heritage to flourish. As we all know, today is African World Heritage Day, celebrated every May the 5th. This day is an opportunity for all of us around the world to celebrate the African continent's unique culture and natural heritage. It is the opportunity to remind that Ghana hosts two of these prestigious heritage sites, namely the Fort and Castle, Volta in the Greater Accra Central and Western region, and the Asante traditional buildings. We have also 6 sites that have been identified under the tentative list with the potential to be listed. I cannot think of a better way to commemorate the day than to be here with you and not only celebrate the richness of our heritage, but also vow to safeguard it for future generations. I'm certain I will leave this ceremony with renewed inspiration to continue telling the African stories. Before I do so, I would like to thank you again for granting UNESCO the opportunity to once again express its utmost support to this initiative, and I look forward to being back here again with you all in the end of 2023 for the official grand opening of the doors to this museum. Thank you very much for your attention.
In honor of Marcus Muzayagabi today, Martin Luther King, in his famous speech, "I Have a Dream," reiterated his desire to see his children judged on the basis of their competence and not on the basis of their color. And this is a good step in realizing that dream. We need to tell the world our own story. It is a fact that the richest man to ever walk on earth was a black man called Mansa Musa. And it's also a fact that the first heart surgery was carried out by Neil Hill Williams, the son of a barber and a black man, in 1893. Telling our own stories will allow us to correct the miseducation we see in our schools and colleges and help create visions that are devoid of superstitions. It will help our youth to move away from their inability to learn, unlearn, and relearn, as Alvin Toffler described today's illiteracy. It is for all these reasons that Benka Shop, a door manufacturing company I partly own in Kayseri, Turkey, decided to donate all the doors for this museum project, as this museum will reverse the miseducation of the black populace. Our factory is located next to the biblical Cappadocia in Turkey, and we believe this action will make it possible for all our fallen heroes to rest in peace, knowing that in the helm of President Nana Akufo-Addo and with his support, Kojo Yankah and his team, made this long-standing dream of telling our story a reality. So much to do, so little done. As your Sajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, Baluta continua, and this is just the beginning. May God bless Mama Africa, and may He be with us all. Thank you.